Do you still share the opinion, perhaps not at Evergent, definitely not at Matthews, but that this country there is a fundamental change in the approach to work?
There has been a fundamental change in the perspective of work and working hours and working days. And I believe the second part of my statement back in May or June of 21 was the United States has lost Fridays. The United States is becoming Europe.
Yes.
And guess who hasn't lost Fridays? And it is China and it is India.
Yeah, you did say that.
And at the end of the day, we operate in a globalized economy and an ever-increasing globalized economy. And at the end of the day, if you aren't progressing, if you are falling behind and your competitors aren't, we know how this ends. Mm-hmm. And so fast forwarding to today, it's April of 2023. You've now had the federal government come out and say 5 days a week in the office. You've now had the big banks like the Jamie Dimons who have taken very strong stances, which I validate, which are, if you're a managing director and you're not coming in 5 days a week, why are those below you on the org chart?
We're even seeing tech companies.
Exactly.
Which basically, in order to work there, they would tattoo work-life balance on your chest. They're saying, you probably should come back in the office.
Exactly. But it's coming at a time where Meta has lost 75% of its market cap. And so it took this drastic shift. What I will say is this. Today, April 2023, the average real estate company has a policy where 4 days a week you come to the office and work. I don't want to be average. We get to serve families whose technology you use, whose cars you drive, whose consumer product goods you consume, whose energy powers your lives. And they entrust us with the entirety of their real estate allocation. And when they do that, it's not because they're looking for an average real estate company. When we hire a broker to sell a property for us, what I'm not looking for is someone that says, if you call me on Friday afternoon, I'm probably going to text you from the golf course. What we are looking for is above average. We are looking for those that are going to work as hard, if not harder, than they did before COVID. We're looking for people that are hyper-focused on delivering best-in-class service because that's what we owe to the families we serve. And that's what I owe to the Evergen team. And so at the end of the day, much like I'm not going to evangelize how I choose to lead my life, I'm not going to evangelize how Evergen chooses to use the office. But we are in the office on Monday mornings and Friday afternoon, and unless we're on the road getting to spend time with friends like you or on site with our properties, like we're at the desk. And that's because that's where I firmly believe not only can we best serve those that entrust us, but also that's where I think that we can build the culture. And that's where I think that we can not just educate and mentor, but really groom the next generation of leaders, because you can't mentor over a modem. At the end of the day, a young team member isn't going to ask their mentor that small question over a Slack, and they're not going to set aside a 5-minute time slot to ask that question on somebody's calendar. It happens in passing. And I think we as leaders owe it to our team members to create a platform where our team members can continually learn and continually grow.
Yeah, we speak about mindsets and mentalities. There was a period of time, and perhaps it is ending, and I think I agree that would be a good thing, but where it was, if not encouraged, accepted, like, hey, you don't have to come in the office, you don't want to. And one of the fascinating things I witness in my role, and I would assume for you too, is it eliminated a lot of noise or shined a light on the professionals who had a mindset like you do, or a mentality like you do, where you need to be successful. You're willing to put in the work. And when all of a sudden it got to this point where you don't have to, then you saw the people who kept showing up, not because they had to, not because everyone else was, because like, no, I'm not here because I have to be. I'm here because I want to be, because I want to be great. I want to learn. I want to compound my learning. I want to compound my relationships. I need to be successful. So I get that I don't have to be here, but I want to be here. I insist on being here. And that was one of the cool things, the really valuable things that came out of that COVID era as it relates to running a company is you saw the people where when you actually gave them a choice, like, hey, you don't have to be here because this is what we're being told, for a very long period of time. I thought that was fascinating to see who was like, well, I know I don't have to be here, but I'm coming in. And I don't know if that was something you experienced while running Mimco. Please subscribe to the Matthews Mentality Podcast. You can find the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or any of the major podcast platforms.